got a treat for you. This dinner is going to be extra special and a really good one if you've got people coming over and you're entertaining, because not only have we got a delicious curry, we've also got some pilau rice as well, and then we have the Peshwari Naan as well. So it's a bit of an Indian feast that we're making using the Ninja Foodi, of course. Really hope you enjoy this recipe, and let's get started. To make the chicken jalfrezi, I'm going to start off with my chicken breasts. Now, I'm making this just for 2 of us tonight. It will be generous portions. There'll probably, be enough for 3 portions if we need it. But yeah, so start off with your chicken. You can double up the quantities if you want to. You can use 4 chicken breasts if you're making this for more people. And what I like to do is I marinate my chicken. So I'm doing this in the morning and we're not cooking this until later. That way we just get a little bit more flavour out of it. Don't worry if you can't do that. It's not going to be a major problem. Doesn't matter really too much what size your chicken is. I just like sort of bite-sized pieces. So that is good. I've got a lemon. This one has been hanging around a little while, so it's a little bit on the tough side, but it's going to do the job. So let's just try and give that a squeeze and get some lemon juice out of that. Normally I use about half a lemon. The fact that this one isn't the best, I probably will use the whole thing, I reckon. So all I do now is get the chicken into my bowl. And I pour over my lemon juice. This really helps to tenderize the chicken as well. I'm going to go and wash my hands, get rid of this, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to season this up. So let's start with some ground turmeric, and I would like a teaspoon of this. The colour of this is amazing, isn't it? But it does stain everything, so be a little bit careful with your turmeric. Then I've got some ground coriander, and again I want a teaspoon. Another teaspoon of chili powder. It depends really how spicy you like this to how much you put in. I know with a jalfrezi, a lot of people put in some fresh chilies. I just don't tend to buy fresh chilies or use them, but if you want to add those in and get some extra punch in here, then please do. Garam masala, I'm going to go with another teaspoon, bit of a heap teaspoon on that one. And then lastly, some garlic. You can use fresh garlic in this or garlic granules. And I've got a good teaspoon there as well. Let's give that chicken a good mix in that lemon juice and all of those spices. It smells really nice. Those spices are going to penetrate the meat and to give us maximum flavour and really nice chicken. So there you go. As you can see, that is what we're looking at. I'm going to cover it with cling film, put it in the fridge and come back to that. Just to make this as simple as possible, I'm even going to prepare my liquids as well now. So I'm putting a vegetable stock cube in the bottom here. And then we're going to top that up with 125 millilitres of water. And then we'll just give that a little stir. I want around half a tin of tomatoes, and I'm using plum tomatoes here. You can use chopped tomatoes, it doesn't matter. And then lastly, I'm just going to top that up with 100 grams of passata. So put that to one side. We're also going to need an onion because a curry always needs an onion as a base. If you want to put fresh garlic in here as well, then definitely do that. I have got a clove here and I'm just going to keep this in slices. As always, I'm going to use my trusty Ninja tin for my rice, and I'm going to be using basmati rice. But we are going to flavour this. So we're going to make this into a pilau rice. So I'm on sear and saute, and this is how we're going to start off the pilau rice. In the bottom, I'm going to put some butter. You want around sort of either 2 tablespoons of, say, vegetable oil or 30 grams of butter, roughly. I'm probably using a little bit less here, but it depends whether you're worried about calories or flavour. And we're just going to gently fry off some onion. So I've got around 1/4 of an onion here, but you can definitely go as much as a whole onion in this. And to the onion, to help soften it, we're going to add a little sprinkle of salt. Now this is going to take probably around 10 minutes to become golden. Into there, I'm going to add my garlic. And I've just kind of crushed and peeled like 1 big clove there. But you can use as many as 2, 3, 4 even, if you really like your garlic. A couple of bay leaves, 6 cardamom pods, and around a teaspoon of cumin seeds. When I've made this before, I've used a cinnamon stick as well, and I forgot to buy it when I went shopping, so I'm leaving the cinnamon stick out. But please, if you've got a cinnamon stick, put one in, because it's all going to give you extra flavour. I want 1/2 teaspoon of ground coriander. And pilau rice has always got that nice colour, which definitely comes from turmeric. So 1/2 teaspoon again of that. Turned off the sear and saute. We're not going to need that now. This is our flavour base, which is going to be ready to take on our rice. So you want to wash and drain your rice to get rid of the starch. And then you can add that in and give that a good stir around in all of that gorgeous flavour. It smells really nice, and we're not even cooking it at this stage. So let's move on to our Peshwari Naan breads. These are just so delicious. I've got some warm water in my jug here. That's 120 millilitres. And I want 7 grams of instant yeast that I've got here. It's around 2 teaspoons, but I like to actually measure mine out. So 7 grams, let's measure that into here. And what we're going to do with this is we're just going to literally set this aside. And you know when you get the yeast activated, it goes sort of frothy, doesn't it? So that is exactly what we are looking for. So literally put these together. Give it a little mix, and it should only take 5-10 minutes. Now I'm going to get my bowl, which goes onto my mixer. So I'm going to be using a mixer with a dough hook for this. Of course, you can do it by hand. It's just a little bit easier this way, which is why I opt for that. Now we want to start off with our flour, which is 300 grams of strong white bread flour. This was my husband's request. He absolutely loves these, so I thought I would give them a go and make them myself. Okay, so into here we want to add our sugar, which is just 5 grams of caster sugar, so around a teaspoon. Just 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt. I've got 150 millilitres here of yogurt, and then I'm just going to measure out some butter. Where did I put the butter? Oh, over here, perfect. So we want 30 grams of butter, and I'm just going to melt that. So I'm going to pop it in the microwave, nice and easy. Let's just measure out 30 grams, whoops. So add the melted butter and then our ever so slightly frothy yeast and water mixture. Okay, so we put this down and let's start mixing. Probably going to look a little bit dry at first, but it will come together, so don't worry about that. Okay, so that has all mixed in together now. So we just want to continue kneading that with this dough hook for around 10 minutes, so it's quite a lot of time. You can now see how the consistency of this is changing. It's getting kind of more stretchy. Now we're going to prepare the filling. So you want some room temperature butter, around 3 tablespoons in here. So this is desiccated coconut here, and we want 3 tablespoons. So let's measure that out into here. We want 100 grams of ground almonds. There's quite a lot of ground almonds. And then the last thing that we add in is some light brown sugar, and we want 4 tablespoons of that. You just want to mix all of this together and put it to one side. As you can see, this has gone really smooth, really stretchy, and looks quite wet, and that's exactly as you want it. So that's got about a minute to go on that, and then we'll be ready for the next stage. Got my Ninja bowl here, and I've just sprayed it with a little bit of spray oil just to help it to stop the sticking, because this is a very sticky dough that we've got here. So I'm just going to scrape it out like this with a spatula. So we want this to double in size. So I'm going to give that 90 minutes, I think, 90 minutes on proof. The standard proof comes up at 35 degrees. So that's what I'm going to go with. This is finished. It's had an hour and a half. So let's have a look what we've got. Ooh, that has got really big, actually. I'd say that's definitely doubled. Now that our proof has finished, I'm going to get a little bit of flour here, and that's going on my non-stick mats, which I love these. These are amazing. And I think this sort of dough, it makes it a lot easier. I like to put a little bit of flour down though still. I've linked these below, by the way. They're in the description if you do want them. Come in a pack of 2. Look at that. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. Look at the air and the lightness. Look at that. Anyway, let's get our hands in. It's almost stringy and stretchy. At this stage, you can just add some more flour if you need it. Mine is quite sticky, so I do think I'm going to need a little bit more flour. Okay, so I've added enough flour now that I have got a much more workable dough. Now I want to cut this into 6 roughly. So let's go in half, and then roughly into thirds like this. Now what we want to do is get this into a rectangle, and then we've got our filling here as well. Put that onto one side, and then you can fold over from the top down to the bottom and just pinch it in so that filling stays inside, that is encased. Now we can kind of shape this as we wish to. So we've got more of a naan sort of shape, like a teardrop shape. I've got a baking tray ready here to put them on once I've cooked them. And I'm just getting this nice and warm. So let's lay our first one in. It might be a little bit of trial and error with our first one. I think this one may be ready to flip. So let's give it a go. Oh, yes. Look at that. Gorgeous golden colour. That is exactly as we want them. Just going to give you an up close of this one. I did get a little bit more colour on that side. Slightly charred, but I kind of like it like that, if you know what I mean. They look so good. I'm doing mine a little bit earlier, and I'm actually going to choose to reheat mine in the oven. There you go. But you could, of course, like I said, make these as you go along, have the oven warm, have these in the oven so they stay warm whilst you're cooking if you're doing it for a lot of people. But I'm probably going to freeze some of these, and then we're going to eat some of these with the curry tonight. Let's begin with the base of our curry, which is going to be our onion. I've got this on sear and saute, just with a little tiny bit of spray oil. It doesn't really need too much. Just breaking up some of that onion as I go. I'm going to give this sort of 5 minutes or so, let that get a little bit of colour before I add in the garlic. Now I'm going to crush in my garlic. So let's scrape that in. Lovely. And then we can add our chicken. So that has been marinating in the fridge all day, and it smells incredible. So I'm going to pour everything in, all the liquid, scrape out all those good spices. Let's get that fried off with the onions. Let's go in with our sauce ingredients, which is what we measured out earlier. So we've got water. Actually, it wasn't water, sorry. It was stock, passata, and then those plum tomatoes. Here I've got my rack, and on my rack I have got my rice. and I have added to that my liquid. Look at the colour of that. I don't even think on camera that it looks as vibrant as it is. It smells really gorgeous. So make sure you've got that covered with your foil, and then that is ready to lower over our curry. I'm sure you know this already, but if you are new here, then you've got your pressure valve up the top here. You've got vent and you've got seal. So to come to pressure, we need to have that on seal. So make sure you've done that. Flip over to pressure cook, and I'm going to do this exactly the same way as I did my other curry because it worked so well like this. So we're going to go with high, and we want a natural release. That's the key thing here. 0 minutes, which seems crazy, doesn't it? So it's all about the building up to pressure that is cooking it, and then that long natural release is cooking it as well. And that way we get the most tender, perfect curry and gorgeous, soft, fluffy rice. And if you're not making your naans to eat straight away, and you did them like me, where I made these earlier and now I just want to reheat, so I'm going to sprinkle it with some water. And that's just going to help with the moisture level, just help it to kind of steam, keep nice and light and fluffy. Okay, great. This is just going to go in the oven because clearly I've got no room in the Ninja. So just fold it up into a little parcel, and I'm going to pop that in the oven for about 10 minutes. When I made the chicken tikka masala, the natural release took about 12 minutes. This was actually done a couple of minutes ago, and we can open up. So I'm a little bit nervous of how quickly we had that natural release, but it could be to do with the liquid quantities. I'm learning as I go along as well, so I'm guessing that maybe I had a little bit less liquid in here, so maybe there was a little bit less steam, less pressure to release. I don't know. Let's find out if it's worked and whether the rice is cooked and it is how we want it. Here we go. Oh, look at that. I'm just going to grab my tea cloth and hold that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Why did I even doubt myself? This smells incredible. Look at that gorgeous rice. So happy with that. Let's keep that covered, keep it warm, and let's go and have a look at our curry. Here is our lovely, delicious curry. This looks great. Really happy with this. I'm going to put the lid down because I do believe that the sauce does thicken up slightly if you just leave it to sit for a minute or two. That's all. It's more or less there, to be honest. I'm pretty much happy with the quantities. But I'm going to do lid down for a minute while I get the naan breads out. So all I'm doing with the naans once they're heated up is just to glaze them with some gorgeous melted butter. And you can see how that changes it straight away. So here we are. This is my Jalfrazi, my gorgeous naan here. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got a couple of portions of pilau rice.